Hey, thank you for tuning in to Fitness on Fire TV. This is Josh Fraze, and I'm here today with Brittany van Schravendijk, Master of Sport in Kettlebell Lifting, and we just finished the interview with her. Awesome interview, you guys gotta check that out. And now it's actually time for KBFitBritt to take me through a workout.
All right, so we're gonna start with a little T-spine mobility. So Josh says his T-spine, his upper back is a little bit tight, which is gonna prevent the lockout from being fully straight. So a lot of people have some issues with that. So we're gonna do a drill using this peanut, we call it. It's just two lacrosse balls that are taped together. And he's gonna place it just right underneath his mid-back as he's gonna lay on the floor, and then he's gonna raise his arms over his head and just hold 10 or 20 seconds and keep moving it up his spine to just kind of work that flexion of the T-spine. Give it a shot? Sure. You're just gonna start, right in the middle of the back, so the ball is on each side of the spine, and then you're just gonna raise your arms up over your head, reach back, might be a little bit painful. Reaching those arms as if you're in that overhead position. So our next drill here, another great warm-up and mobility drill, call it wall slide. So you would stand with your feet, your butt, your shoulders, your head touching the wall, and then bring those arms out to that goalpost position with the back of the hands and the elbows as close to the wall as possible. Then you try to slide up into that overhead position, keeping the elbow and hands on the wall. So it's going to be pretty challenging. If you can't keep touching the wall all the way up, that's okay. You can let your hands come off the wall a little. Just make sure you straighten the elbows at the very top, because you want to work on that straight overhead position. You want to be opening the hand a little earlier, because you want to let that bell float up as much as possible without you gripping. Because Snatch is all about the game of how long does it take for my forearms to wear out. So you want to make sure that you're opening your hand as soon as you get the kettlebell up to about here. So like we talked before, from the standpoint of physics, if you're moving on a pendulum, there's a certain point right at the top here where the kettlebell is weightless. So it's kind of like right here at the top. I can essentially sort of let the kettlebell go, and it's going to pause there for just like a split second. I don't want to let it turn me, okay? I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit. I want to think up and stop it right there. So I'm essentially pushing my hand up to meet the bell and stop it, stop, instead of letting it just kind of pull me back. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're going to try that, just 5 reps per side, just doing the snatch and thinking about just stopping that bell, the arm right next to the ear, really straight overhead. Good. We're going to do another quick drill, which I call a low swing. So the low swing is working on making sure that you're extending your hips when you go into a swing or a snatch. Because a lot of times when people swing or snatch, their arm will kind of come up, and they won't ever extend their hips, they'll just pull the bell up. So they won't fully push through with the hips before going up. So this one looks a little awkward, but it's a good drill to train that hip extension. So for this one, doesn't really matter thumbs forward or thumbs back. You just grab the bell, bring that elbow in, and you just kind of push the hips forward. So notice I'm keeping my knees bent, but I'm just practicing fully extending the hips, because I want to make sure that I'm using that full extension once I go up into the snatch. So we'll just have you try a few reps. Normally you do it with a heavier bell once you've learned it. It's kind of a good accessory drill here, both for grip strength. So right now you're straightening your knees, but I want you to try to keep your knees bent. Everything in snatch is all about counterbalancing the weight. If the weight is out here, I have to be back here. If the weight is back here, I have to lean forward. So I'm always counterbalancing. swing to practice that hip extension, then a high swing, and then into the snatch. Okay, and then we're gonna drop it down, swing, a little bit of a higher swing, and then snatch. Okay, so you're just practicing hip extension with this one, then a full hip and knee extension, and then all the way up into snatch. And so think about opening the fingers a little earlier. So right now you're opening the fingers real high. Try to open them a little bit earlier, like here. And then just kind of guide it through. Better already. Couple tips for the drop. So we talked a lot about the weight up. So now for the drop, you usually want to catch the kettlebell in this like hook grip. Okay, so you don't want to be gripping the bell like this because it's going to pull down your palm and rip as you go down eventually. So you want to think about you're actually catching the kettlebell here. This is going to be more relaxed. My forearm is just kind of relaxed, just holding the bell. So how we get it into the fingertips, the tip I always give people is at that top position, you're going to just tap your fingertips to the top of the bell, so you create a little pocket right here, okay? And you're going to keep your fingertips there while you turn the bell, and the bell will fall right into your fingertips. So I'm just going to turn the bell, and it's going to fall right into my fingertips. What's not going to work is if you do this, and then you open your hand and you drop it, that won't help, because now it's just going to scrape your palm again. You have to create this little pocket, kind of gives yourself a cue that when you turn, you're going to let it just drop right into that little pocket you just created. What I'll have people do is I'll have them pick up like a heavy kettlebell, something that's heavy for them, and then just drop their shoulder, and like that's what your shoulder should be doing in your backswing, instead of this. And that's going to help you reach through, and the bell isn't going to pull as much on your hand if you just actually relax it.